Hello everybody, welcome back to Robot Attack. My name is Scouter715 and today I have Smokinace, the one and only. How are you?
Not too bad. You went with the slow numbers. I'm usually rapid fire.
Yeah, you know, just
threw me
you
off.
gotta change it up a little bit.
Hey, you know what? Keep everybody on their toes.
I just gotta make sure I knew the numbers correctly. Like, I think it's 715, I don't know. Just to keep people confused and like, what, who, what, you know. But yes,
Absolutely.
every month, welcome to Robot Attack. I have this guy. We talk about games every month, and we a lot of things to talk about, of course. And so let's get started. If you're new, welcome. And we usually cover kind of real quick of what we played last month, and then we kind of go into a little bit of details of other categories or games or other things. We'll figure it out. We just prepare last second as usual. So, yeah, real quick, what games did you play last month?
So I played a little bit more. I got a little bit back into Company of Heroes 2, really fun RTS World War II game that I've wanted to play some more of for a while now, but just got back into it. Played a few other little small things here and there. Had some family over for little bits of things, so we played some Mario Kart, Mario Tennis,
Nice.
Smash Brothers, things like that. So got a little bit of playtime in that. And probably the biggest one, in sticking with my theme of gaming goals and completing at least one game a month, which you should go watch that episode of the podcast and hear what all of our gaming goals were for this year. I finally finished Dragon Quest XI.
Nice.
That easily is in my top 5 RPGs of all time. That game, really well done. I put in close to 60 hours into it, and I haven't even scratched, the side quests and things like that. That's just beating the main story and some of the side quests. I know there's a lot more content that I can get into. So I'll probably play some more of that. But yeah, no, it just really well done. The characters are great. The story is interesting and keeps moving. They do some fun things with the story. They do some interesting things with the attacks and the combinations you can do and things like that. So yeah, for anybody who is a kind of classic JRPG fan and likes having options. I won't get into it a whole lot, but you can play the game either in kind of the standard static turn-based combat, or you can do kind of a 3D moving area where you can run around and everything. But you can also play the entire game in 2D if you want. So you can kind of go back to the old school, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo Entertainment System, kind of that style of RPG. And there's options that you can make the game harder if you want and turn them on and off and stuff. So yeah, it is. If you've got time to sink into an RPG and you like that style of game, I very highly recommend it. It is a very well done game. And but yeah, that one I finally beat. So game for this month beaten. Consider it done in the last few days. I actually beat it earlier today as of this recording.
Before this recording, good.
Yep.
Otherwise, we would have put the smack
I
down.
know. You would have brought the hammer down.
Right,
but,
just end this podcast. We're done until we finish it. No.
But yeah, that's kind of what I played. How about yourself, sir?
Good, yeah, no. I had, where is it? Here, the wheel of choice. It was, what was it? Planet Zoo. I forgot how, I guess, stingy it is with, like, you have to assign your staff to the certain, they have to be assigned to one of the areas for the animals for them to actually feed them. So they were starving, like, 90% of my stream. It was fantastic. Not fantastic. A little frustrating, but I think once you can figure it out, you'll be fine. It's a little bit of an easier restraint on your computer versus Planet Coaster. So I'm excited. Resident Evil Biohazard. So you're welcome in advance. By the way, I've been playing a lot of console games now. So you're welcome. I have, and I want to kind of go back to your last game you just mentioned. I just picked up Mario Odyssey, and I really I started to play a little bit of it, like on camping or whatever. But it's pretty, how you mentioned you could go back to like the old school, and then you go back to Mario 65, and like it's just like Mario Odyssey, just like a blend of everything in Mario. It's perfect. I have to obviously keep playing it. But yeah, Resident Evil Biohazard, sorry, I'll get back to that one. I got yelled at a lot to play that one before Village, and honestly, I'm sorry, Smokinace, again. I made you a compliment, and now I'm gonna like smash it down a little bit. I want to put it out there. Resident Evil is probably the best series so far. I haven't. I know. I'm sorry. I haven't. I only played Biohazard a little. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's gone. I'm just gonna run this podcast for a bit on my own. So yeah, a little bit of Biohazard was good, and you just like throw up a match somewhere. No, it's really good. It's really so good. I need to keep playing it, and then I figured out, Planet Coaster. I could play it on the PS4 now. Yeah, a lot of cool games. Been just kind of all over the place this month. Honestly, it's kind of nice. Don't Starve, but yeah, really those three have been really great. A couple of them that are just fantastic. So definitely, if you haven't picked up Odyssey, or any Resident Evil for that matter, start with 4. I'm sorry, but no.
All right.
Sorry, what?
Let's have a race. I will play Resident Evil 4 on stream. At the same time, and we'll co-stream you playing Metal Gear Solid, and we'll see who wins.
I haven't forgotten. I promise you.
I know you haven't. I haven't.
I should switch it to easy, and then I don't know, maybe play it off stream until I'm at least to that point where I was. And at least I generally know where to go and what to do, so that's good. But yeah, it's such a hard game.
it is like we've talked about before, and we'll talk about more when you beat it, because I know that you will beat it, because you do have the ability to. But yeah, having played it again recently, it is a tough game, especially if you don't know, if you didn't play it before. But we talked about that in another podcast, so go check out some of our older podcasts, and
sure.
And we discuss that a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, it's good, and I mean not Metal Gear Solid, but sorry, that's two times. I'm sorry. It's a decent game. All right, I'll give you that. For the time period, it was pretty good. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's a real deal parlor.
Oh man, oh.
Well, I gotta
so
Don't Starve Chester. So man. And Susbeans. But anyways, so yeah, the main part of this podcast, we'll jump into it.
6. All right.
Is we'll talk about E3 because
wait, what's that?
I don't know, something that comes once a year. It's like Santa, but with video games. Is pretty great
and a lot more expensive.
And yeah, and sometimes disappointing, which we'll probably talk about this year. Was very disappointing, in my opinion.
E3 makes Santa sad,
right? It's like Santa. It's like the Krampus of Santa. Like basically that. It's a nightmare sometimes. So I guess we could talk a little bit about most of what I found interesting. Really, first thing off the bat, first thing they had was wholesome games, which I wish I would have watched more of that, because a lot of indie developed games, man, they just one after another. I only watched a little bit of some of that. but a lot of great games. They mentioned Unpacking, which I've mentioned numerous times on this podcast, and I'm so glad like it's there. You know, there's a cat game, of course. Like, it's just like I think you're a ninja. What is it? I'm just like looking through your list, but Skatebird, Unpacking, Power Wash Simulator, of course, and like very cute, adorable, run-of-the-mill indie games. A cooking kind of a cooking simulation game. Rainbow Billy here. I'm just like skimming through them, but like generally, they're pretty fantastic. And honestly, everyone, I just want to buy all of them. The Steam sale is happening, but I don't think it is. A little to the left, you know, Snacko, just like adorable, quick and easy indie games that are. I recommend go to wholesomegames.com, kind of go through some of those and pick some of those. And then overall, that was pretty much the highlight for me. So you can go. No, honestly, I haven't watched a lot of it either because it's during work. And just nothing was like, yes, you know, let's go. Nothing really sparked to me until Nintendo kind of came back, kind of saved us all. Honestly, like, let's be real. They have Wario, which I haven't really played any of the Wario, but I know a lot of people were flipping out about it.
There's been a lot of people that I remember I've heard that have wanted a new WarioWare game or something like that. I played a little bit of one back when a friend had a Wii, and we played a little bit of it, but I never played a ton. The most I've played of WarioWare was like in a Smash stage, you know, where you'd have the little games from that. But yeah, I know a lot of people, like you said, were excited about that one.
Yeah, and then really, of course, Zelda, new Zelda game, which again, I know a lot of people. Again, I guess. I haven't. I'll be frank with you, and I'm all.
You're a scouter.
I know. Nice. That's a good one. Garden.
It's not. Don't encourage me.
That was pretty good. I haven't played a Zelda game since 64, and that was like maybe 30 minutes of it.
Get Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's I know. So I know for a lot of people, the new Zelda Breath of the Wild. Thank you. Was pretty much the highlight of E3 in, you know, a lot of people's opinion.
I will say this about that real quick to touch on it. I don't remember if I've mentioned on here before, but people that I've talked to and everything about Breath of the Wild know that I am not a big fan of Breath of the Wild at all. Mm-hmm. I really like Zelda games. I like, you know, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. You know, some of those older Zeldas. I do not really like Breath of the Wild. I will say, however, that what they've shown of Breath of the Wild 2 is a little more interesting to me. So they did a good job with that. I still need to beat the first Breath of the Wild, but I've put, I want to say, like 16 to 20 hours or something into it. So I've played a decent chunk of it, but I know it's not, you know, the full extent of it. But yeah, I know everybody was wanting more from Breath of the Wild 2, so I'm glad they showed it. And like I said, it has piqued my interest a little bit more. But yeah, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there with the Breath of the Wild hype.
Yeah, again, for a lot of people, I think that I saw like tweets just like flying in when they announced, like, here it is, like everyone's like flipping gums about, like, it's fun. No, like, again, Bear and Breakfast and Lone Farm, just like these cute, easy, simple, very great art design games. Garden Story here. It's just I can't wait. I want to buy all of them. They look so good. Like I said, Unpacking has a demo, so if you want to play it now, you can. But yeah, and then Nintendo. What else did they have? of course, like I'm excited for this Mario Golf. I don't know why. Like, man, when I played it on my Switch with like the old school Mario, I had fun. So I'm really excited. And if you guys are interested, and if you are a part of Extra Life, I'm kind of holding a tournament. Like, man, I didn't even coordinate that with Smokinace, by the way.
Nope. I actually had a different shirt on this morning, and then I mowed, and I put on another shirt afterward, and it just worked out.
And then I got, honestly, pins with this, but, like, honestly, if I could find them, they are probably the most disappointing pins. Here they go. They're the most disappointing pins I've ever seen. They're just like a pin with they slapped a sticker on it, it looks like. Like, I got it from GameStop. You know, of course, like, go figure, but, like, man, they're just, honestly, like, I'm at the point just to throw them away, because, like, that's how disappointing they are. Like, when the guy's, like, pins, I was like, oh, yeah, can't wait, and then I see that, and I'm like, really? I mean, no, I'll keep them, but, like, yeah, I'm excited to play this with my friends, and whoever wins gets however many players times it by 5 of Extra Life donations to the charity. So it kind of sparked a little bit months ago, and finally it's out, and we're playing it. But yes, honestly, that's pretty much, like I said, that's all from me. I know probably E3 was probably better for you than it was for me. Because you had Final Fantasy Remake coming on there. You got again what's this? Metroid. So yeah, if you want to talk about that, what do you?
Yeah, it
was basically. I thought when I was watching too, I was like, man, this is a home run for Smokinace this week, isn't it? This E3.
I wish I could say it was. There were some good things. There were definitely a lot of things that were kind of a letdown. I hold no secrets of how big of a Sony fan I am, which I already knew that Sony wasn't going to be at E3 this year, so that was already a big disappointment. So I'm sad I didn't get to see anything from them directly, as well as Kojima Productions, which again, for anybody who has watched this podcast for more than one episode, has probably figured out that I'm a big Hideo Kojima fan with Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding and everything like that. So it was disappointing to not see either one of them there, but I already knew that going in. So I at least I wasn't sitting there waiting, holding out, hoping, okay, we're going to see all this stuff from everybody, from Sony and stuff. But it was still disappointing not to have it. But yeah, there were some things that I was really hoping to see that I didn't see. But as far as some good things, I'm excited for, they announced a Guardians of the Galaxy game that looks interesting. I will say that much. It seems like it's going to have a really lengthy single-player campaign, which is exciting. I'm glad to see it's not something that's just like a copy of the Avengers, which I played the beta of that and I wasn't too blown away. And I know it's kind of been underwhelming for a lot of people with the Avengers game. So I'm glad to see that with this Guardians of the Galaxy game, they're kind of more focusing on a story-driven game as opposed to, hey, let's make this multiplayer and everything like that. I was excited because they showed some more from Age of Empires 4, which we're getting later this year. I know we've talked about some RTS games before. We both played a lot of Age of Empires when we were younger. So that was exciting. And we got the release date for that, which I want to say is in October sometime. I forgot to write that down. But we got to see a little bit more from Elden Ring, which I'm still skeptical if that game's ever actually coming out. For anybody that's followed that, they announced it a couple of years ago, and then you heard nothing. And it became the biggest, one of the biggest memes, kind of. It almost is to the tier of Half-Life 3 and some of those other games that, everyone's like, well, they're never coming out. But we saw a lot of gameplay. We saw a lot of interesting gameplay. I texted one of my friends who's a big Dark Souls fan, and let me try to find it really quick. But I basically said it was kind of let me see if I can find it really fast. But basically they said they didn't really say too much about it that I watched. I know they talked some about it, but it looked like a more fleshed out Dark Souls game. Like more story, more interaction, more development, as opposed to just kind of like, oh, look, we're just kind of going along with here's what I said. I said it looks like it's Dark Souls meets The Witcher meets Harry Potter meets Star Wars meets Final Fantasy, which is exciting. Yeah. Just because they showed a lot of different things. They showed some more magic use. They showed some more, like you could ride on a horse, or like a ghostly image of a horse or something like that. And they showed some more spells and just kind of they showed a lot of gameplay that showed a variety of things. I don't think for that game at this current time that the best thing would be, okay, let's just give a solid 20 minutes of gameplay. I'm glad they showed kind of a sizzle reel, so that way you kind of get a look of everything going on.
Sorry, now that you mentioned it, that like 20, like long gameplay. What was up with that? Like 3 seconds of one gameplay. It was like basically just a helmet, and like I was just like, what the hell? What? That's not I forgot what game it was, but it was like
I don't remember. I probably saw it, but I don't remember.
Of course you didn't, because it was like 3 seconds. But no, sorry. Continue.
I sneezed and I missed it.
Right, literally. The guy's like, "This is really short," and it sure was. And I'm like, "Wow, that was like, you probably spent all this money making it. You could have just waited till like a better. I don't know how it hit anybody with that."
I'll have to find what it is. We saw some more gameplay from Battlefield 2042, which I really liked. Battlefield 2142 that came out years ago, because it was a futuristic shooter, but still grounded a little bit in reality, where they had big Titan ships that you had a really, really fun game mode where you were trying to infiltrate the enemy's Titan and take down their systems and their core and stuff. So that was a really cool aspect. This one, being 2042, is a little more grounded in reality, but still has some excitement. I'm a little nervous about it because it looks... for a long time, I played both Battlefield and Call of Duty, and I liked them each for their own respective reasons. I liked Battlefield because you had your big, large battlefields, a lot of people, kind of a little bit slower paced game in a way, because it was more focused on kind of strategy and stuff like that. And then I liked Call of Duty because it was your little bit more fast paced arcade shooter, kind of run around and shoot them up. I'm a little nervous that they're teetering a little too far towards that with the new Battlefield. But it's still exciting. It's still a Battlefield game. I'm still interested in it. I'm interested to see more from it. I like games that are grounded a little bit more in reality. Sometimes, at least for shooters, I don't always like, the super futuristic kind of, lasers everywhere and stuff like that all the time. That's not saying I don't enjoy those games, but typically with first-person shooters, I like kind of a more realistic feel to them.
Right.
I say realistic in heavy air quotes, because obviously they're not, pulled straight from reality. We saw an announcement for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I am beyond excited for. A Borderlands spin-off from the Tiny Tina's Dragon's Keep. I can't remember what the DLC was called, but it was basically Dungeons and Dragons, but in Borderlands. But I'm excited to see more from that game. going sort of back to what you mentioned with Nintendo. I know this one you're really excited for, and I'm surprised you forgot to mention it because of how much you love this genre of games. But they announced a new Mario and Rabbids.
Oh yeah, no.
Sparks of Hope, because who doesn't love XCOM? I still need to play the first one, but I watched a decent amount of gameplay from the first one, and comment down below what amount you would donate to Extra Life to get Scouter to play the Mario and Rabbids game.
No. I don't know. I never got
Put it
into.
on the wheel.
I'm not a. I never. No. They just slapped a sticker on Mario to put Mario on it. I'm not. No.
But it's XCOM style, and who doesn't love XCOM?
Oh yeah.
Another game which I know you mentioned, which came as a surprise to you when you mentioned it to me, but Metroid Dread.
Metroid.
I have actually never beaten a Metroid game. I have barely played.
Well, if only you had a certain goal every month to beat a certain game or something. Man,
my goodness!
If only.
And if only I had a way to play a Metroid game. But yeah, no, it's a series that I've wanted to play for a long time. I've heard really good things. I as I've mentioned before on the podcast, I love Mega Man. The Mega Man X series is one of my top 3 series of all time. And
where does Resident Evil lie in that, by the way? Just curious. It doesn't.
I'd maybe 183, somewhere in there.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I know the Metroid games aren't exactly Mega Man X, because they're a little more. There's the Metroidvania genre, and obviously Mega Man X doesn't fit into that. So I know it's a different kind of game to Mega Man, but still kind of along the same lines, still that sort of platformer. So it is exciting to see a new one that I can get excited about, because watching the gameplay, watching the trailers and stuff, it looked fun, and it looked like a good game to have on the Switch. Yeah, that one looked really great. Diablo 2, the remaster.
Oh, yeah.
We saw some more details on that. That looks like a lot of fun. You can have up to eight friends playing together.
But I have 0 of those.
I was going to say, I need to find 7 more of those.
Right. At least got 2 right here. That's it.
Okay. Awkward.
All right.
No. But yeah, no, that looked really good. That looked like a lot of fun. I'm excited for Diablo 4, and I think this one will be a good one to to help tide over to Diablo 2 was the first Diablo game I ever played. I never beat it, I don't think. I think I was too young at the time, and it was difficult. It was a challenging game, and I don't think I ever beat it. So it'll be fun to be able to go back and finally play it and play a Diablo game. Something that I was really excited about, and I'm still excited about, but then I just got kind of smacked down. They announced remakes of Final Fantasy through Final Fantasy VI.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost my mind.
It
sounded amazing. It was incredible. And then they said for Steam and mobile. And I went, what? What? Those games would be perfect to have on the Switch. The fact that those games aren't on the Nintendo Switch Online kind of collection, that any of those games are on there, hurts my soul. It hurts. Those would be so perfect.
I mean, maybe they would eventually just slap it on.
It would. They'd be so good. I've played and beaten some of those older Final Fantasy games. I actually did a 24-hour stream of Final Fantasy IV recently, and that was last year. But I didn't beat it on stream, but it was a really good game, and it was kind of it wasn't the original graphics and stuff, it was more 3D graphics, kind of a little more built up and reimagined in a way. But I would love to play through some of the old Final Fantasy games, and the Switch is the perfect console for that. Let me sit there on the couch and play that while I watch gameplay of Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. But, you know, they have Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9 on the Switch. Give me the 1 through 6 remasters on the Switch. Or, as I've mentioned before, I'm a big trophy fan and an achievement fan. I know there'll be achievements on Steam, but give me those remakes on PlayStation. Let me buy it. I don't know if they're going to do it as a, you know, buy each one of them individually for $10 a piece or what it'll be, or if they'll have a collection of them. But if you announce Final Fantasy, I think they call it like a Perfect Pixel Remaster or something, I believe is the kind of moniker they put on it. If you announce a remaster anthology, because they had Final Fantasy Anthology that had, I think it was 4, 5, and 6, or 4 and 5, something like that. If you announce a Final Fantasy remaster anthology, Final Fantasy 1 through 6, I would pay $60 for that. I would pay
$10 million.
Yeah, but yeah, it was kind of disheartening to see that it was only going to Steam and mobile. You know, like I said, hopefully later, or maybe as they go on, maybe it'll get announced for Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. But we'll just have to see. I am excited that they're kind of remastering those and doing them kind of justice to bring them up more to speed in 2021, 2022. They just said coming soon. They didn't give a timetable or anything. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with them. And like I said, I hope that, you know, they announce a collection for $50, let's say $60. Okay, that'd be $10 a piece, but, you know, announce a collection for like $50, or you can buy them each individually for $10. I think that seems fair, because the games, you can get a lot of playtime out of them. Like Final Fantasy IV, I got 24 hours worth of gameplay, and I didn't even watch any of the cutscenes. I skipped all the cutscenes. So, you know, to be able to get 24 hours of that game with breaks, of course, but to get 24 hours, I mean, you know, $10 is worth that, in my opinion. And, you know, that didn't even include a ton of grinding and a ton of exploring. I kind of tried to get from point A to point B and just move the quest along because I was trying to beat, you know, the game in that time. So I feel like $10 might be a little steep for the remakes or the remasters, but I feel like it's fair, because the people that, you know, let's say you only want to play Final Fantasy II, which I won't even get into because I don't remember right now, but the Japanese version and the US version, 2 is 4 and 3 is 6 or something. I don't remember exactly what it is. I used to know, but I don't have it up right now, so I don't remember for sure. But yeah, that's something exciting to see with those remasters, but at the same time, bring them to consoles. Like I said, let me sit there in the car shop while I'm waiting for my tires to be rotated or something and playing Final Fantasy on my Switch.
Right.
I can already do that on my phone.
Right.
Oh yeah, let me play that on my Switch. One thing that was pretty exciting, that even though it was announced kind of, I think, right before E3, and since Kojima wasn't at E3, but the Death Stranding director's cut, they kind of did a little cheeky nod to Metal Gear Solid, which a lot of people are looking too far into. I'll go on record, I unfortunately don't think that Kojima or Konami, either one, are going to announce anything.
Eat your words. Watch.
Hey, I will be happy
to eat those words.
Proven wrong. I will eat those words with every seasoning you can throw on them. You know, if I'm wrong, but you know, I think it was kind of almost a slap in the face to Konami from Kojima, just like, hey, people want this. You didn't let it happen. You're keeping it from happening. I'm going to go on doing what I do. Like I said, I will happily eat those words if something comes from Kojima, but I don't foresee it happening. I think everyone just took it far too literally and not as a kind of jab that I believe that Kojima is trying to make. As far as excited, that's kind of all there was. There were some other little things.
This is it. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks, everyone. No.
I mean, Bethesda...
We had, sorry to interrupt, we had Far Cry. Some of these announcements have been predictable in terms of, you see, a 5 seconds before they actually announce you're in the trailer of Far Cry, and I'm like, that's Far Cry. And sure enough, it's Far Cry.
You're right. I forgot to put that on the list. That was exciting.
Sorry, I just pulled up some more while you're chatting, so that's why I was distracted.
Playing Minesweeper.
A little bit. Stalker 2. I haven't played the first one, but my friend showed me it. I don't know. I like to see the gameplay more before I throw money at it. And then what's else? I saw something else. Where is it? Anyways, it's just right on here too. What the heck? But
I'm looking that up really quick. One that I'm sort of iffy on is they showed some more content for Fallout 76. That game, when it first came out, was a joke.
Yeah.
Across the board, more people hated it than even thought it was okay. People abandoned it a long time ago. They've done a lot of things to sort of help move it along, and it sounds like they've made it a lot better game. I'm slightly more intrigued to check it out with some of the content they showed at E3 this year. So yeah, that one, we'll see. Maybe I'll get back to it at some point. I never played a whole lot of it, but yeah, they did show some things that did sort of pique my interest, I would say.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a zombie one. I wouldn't say it's. Oh man, what is it?
I
just had
was it one of the indie games?
I wish, man, if only.
There was one indie game that I was trying to think of that I thought was.
But it was open world zombies and maybe it was something. It was a second one too, and the first one, not a lot of people played. I'm just clicking the links because I thought it was the other one, but regardless, that one.
Was it the day before? Maybe.
Dying Light 2. Thank you. Sorry. Out of nowhere.
Oh. Okay.
I haven't played the first Dying Light, of course.
That one I actually have played. That was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun game.
Apparently, in the Dying Light 2, if I'm wrong on this, but maybe I misheard, but you get the first one anyways with it, or you get some. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I guess I don't. I don't. Quoted. We're gonna sue you. Regardless, I think if you buy some probably more expensive thing, maybe you get. But I haven't played the first Dying Light, and I mean, Dying Light 2 seems, from what I've seen with the trailer, again, not my type of style. A lot of I really love the Left 4 Dead remake. Clearly,
yes, that was just. I forgot to bring that up in my.
It was Left 4 Dead, and they slapped a sticker on. It seems
it's Back 4 Blood. I don't know what you're talking about with Left 4 Dead.
Right, it's basically Left 4 Dead, but yeah.
No, Back 4 Blood looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it looks like a really, really good game. I was trying to see if I could find more. Sorry, my internet browser's not working, so I'm looking on my phone. I was trying to see if I could find more from what you were talking about with Dying Light to see if you get the first one with it or not.
Yeah, maybe
I'm not doing.
Maybe it's just something again. you kind of went over it quick, and of course, like me not knowing what dying for the first one and stuff, but like it seemed like if you buy, maybe it was like exclusive thing that I don't know,
Maybe.
you get, or unless you get like some of the content or something. I don't know, something.
I know with
Don't quote
Far
me again.
Cry, you like with something that they showed, you get Far Cry Blood Dragon, which if you love the Far Cry series and you love cheeky old references, play Blood Dragon. Play Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. That game, I never beat it, but it is hilarious and incredible. That game is really, really good.
And then I will say, I'll go back to what you last said about Dragon. Was it Dragon Age? It's like basically Skyrim, like all those games into one.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Thank you. I guess I will say, Dark Souls 3 is a great game. It is.
Time out.
What?
You sound so defeated right now. You sound so upset, like somebody is off camera holding like a hamburger and saying, you can only get this hamburger if you say this. It sounds like you were being just forced to say it.
Kinda.
Oh, that is great. I love it. In all seriousness, I'm so glad that you enjoyed playing that game.
I love it to the extent, like, I mean, I will say, awesome. I will make a reference to another YouTuber, Nerd Cubed, who says, like, basically, I think we were talking about last podcast about the difficulty rating, about how Resident Evil 4 transitions. If you're struggling, it will transition to make it easier or make it harder if you're doing better. Whereas, like, yeah, but I played Dark Souls 3 and finished it. Like, there's a certain extent to a difficulty where, it's impossible, but I feel like Dark Souls 3 isn't impossible. I feel like there's just so much mini achievement in that game, and even if you die thousands of times, you're just like, you know what? It's gorgeous. It's just, yeah, I have to use a controller, if I remember correctly, to play that game, because like using a keyboard and mouse is just impossible. Like,
it sounds terrible,
but it is. I know, it's a nightmare. Never again. No, I was just saying, like, and then scenes again. I'll probably be interested in that game. It's just like pretty much everything you could ask for. Dark Souls, kind of, kind of a medieval theme to it of Skyrim, and man, it's just I'm intrigued by it, and I will probably, I think I will pick that one. I don't know. I would like to, again, that's another one. Most of these I will have to see the gameplay before I really pick it up, because I'm sure that's an arm and leg for, like, I'm sure it's full price for a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, like,
I've said it.
Yeah, Bethesda and in space too. It's just like, man, Fallout in space. Like, who cares, man? Fix some. I don't know. I'm just on a tangent now. It's just so frustrating.
I know it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. But the Dark Souls series is a challenging game, but it's fair. And it's one of the only games that I can sit there and I can lose, 30,000 souls, metaphorically chuck my controller against the wall, and then immediately stand up, go over, pick up that controller, and play another life. Because like you said, it can be mind-numbingly frustrating. It can be so irritating because you get ahead of yourself and you're not patient, and you just jump right in. I can get one more hit on this boss. I can get, the greed in that game is so unforgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But then you think about it and next time, okay, I can only get 3 hits on the boss. And then you put that 4th hit in, and then you get killed, and then you just do it all over again.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't think I have ever, when playing one of the Souls games, I don't think that I have. No, I've definitely rage quit, but I haven't rage quit nearly as many times as I thought I would. Like, I think I've been really close, and then I'll go, you know what? Just one more time. Just one more time. let me fight that boss one more time. If I die on the way, I'll quit here. You know, I don't think I have ever died in Dark Souls and then just immediately turned the game off and walked away from it.
Right.
I think I've always given, like, you know what, I'll give it one more chance. If I can get back to my souls, I'll keep playing. If I can't, I'll stop here. But I don't think I've ever turned that game off in anger. You know, or that series, I should say. I've gotten close, that's for sure. I've gotten very close, especially with the remaster of Demon's Souls on the PS5. That, you know, I've just kind of reignited that spark of playing those games. But yeah, Elden Ring, it does look fun if we ever get it.
20 years later.
It's very possible.
Maybe they'll pull a Cyberpunk and just like release it with, or be like it'll be the new Skyrim where it just like glitches all the time. And I guess I'll go back real quick on Dark Souls 3. I think also the really good thing about that game is like the save points are just so easy. Like they're just right where you kind of died because they know this is probably where you're gonna die a lot.
It's like playing Mario Maker and somebody puts a checkpoint that's right before a spot that's really tough.
Right,
you
exactly.
know, when you get those creators that find that really good spot, like, okay, I know this next obstacle, this next enemy, this next section is really going to be punishing, and a lot of people are going to die here, just like you said with Dark Souls and stuff like that. I know this part's going to be punishing. Let me put a checkpoint here so that way they keep playing our game. Because if not, you're just going to get too frustrated, and you're just going to get bored and irritated. You know.
Right.
What?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
So, unless you have something else, you know, that you are excited about from E3, let me ask you this question.
No.
Okay. All right.
No,
podcast
sorry. That's it. No. What are you saying?
Was there anything that you saw announced that was the biggest disappointment to you? There didn't have to be. You know, there doesn't have, but I have a couple things that I want to say really quick. I won't dwell on them, but was there anything that you saw, or if there wasn't anything, was there anything that you were hoping to see that you didn't see? I kind of already talked about mine with just not having anything.
I think you know where I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say it. But
no, you better say it.
Stanley Parable.
Because you've got to put it on the bingo card.
Stanley Parable.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, of course, it wouldn't be there anyways. It's maybe in the feel good, one of the feel good ones that I mentioned, but
yeah.
Or man, just I don't know. Again, overall, I was highly disappointed. And honestly, like I guess I could have seen a better Wario game. I was kind of excited at first, but it just seemed a slap in the sticker of, hey, this is the previous game, but slap a sticker on it. But like, I guess I would have liked to see him like in a different game or like in an alternative reality of Mario. I don't know where you would go with that, but you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you want a game that was Super Mario Brothers 3, but with Wario and Waluigi?
Well, it's just like, you know, different characters. I mean, I know Mario's great and all, but like, man, can you name any of the other Mario characters besides Luigi? I mean, besides Peach, and then, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, shut up.
Bowser.
But, you know what I'd say, like, the like, Wario, man, like, just little spin-offs once in a while. Like, I'm glad Wario, but, like, Waluigi would be fun. Like, I know
Luigi gets no love.
He's a big.
I know people have been.
He's a big meme central. I know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So, what? I don't know. I would have liked to see. I know that they had Super Mario Superstars, which is cool, and Super Monkey Ball. I know. I think I might pick that up. I mean, seen some of those speedrunners
about it.
But no, just like if to answer your question, everything. It's just I don't know. I don't know why I watch these things, honestly. Like, I should just wait till the end.
E3 was lackluster.
I know probably it helped with. I mean, it didn't help with the pandemic, and probably a lot of game developers were delayed. So,
absolutely,
I guess I'll give credit where credit's due. That maybe, hopefully, next year will be better. Now that everything's picking up again, that more game. Maybe next year's E3 will be just a better one. But what about you? Anything that?
As far as disappointment, like I said, not seeing some of the companies that I wanted to see are kind of disappointing. One of the biggest disappointments, let me say this. One of the biggest disappointments for now, because I haven't played a whole lot of it, but there was a lot of rumors about an exclusive Final Fantasy game coming out, and we saw that, and it's called Strangers of Paradise: A Final Fantasy Origin. Mm-hmm. And basically what it is Final Fantasy 1 Dark Souls, which sounds cool for a Final Fantasy fan.
Right.
They have a demo out now. I know for sure it's on PS5. I think it's on PS4. I'm not 100% sure, but for anybody who's interested, there is a demo out there if you have a console that can get it. What I've played of it, I'm not that interested in. I do need to play more of it. So I will say, like I said, for now, it is a big disappointment for me. Just because I was hoping for a better Final Fantasy game. Like, the characters they showed in it were very annoying, kind of. Like, they were a little too bro, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Another disappointment was I'm not very good competitively at Smash. I know that. I enjoy Smash Brothers. I like playing that with friends that are the same skill level as me. Like I said, with family, recently we played, and with my nieces and nephews, and with my wife, actually, and everything. We're on a pretty good skill level. Same skill level. We can, nobody's really blown out of the water. It's a fun time, but I've tried to play against some other people that are a lot higher skilled, and I don't do very well. I get, because I'm just not that good at it. But they announced, I never remember how to say his name, Hitachi, I believe, from Tekken, mm-hmm. as the next.
I don't even know anybody who plays Tekken. Maybe it's just.
The biggest, I played some Tekken way back on the PlayStation 1. Yeah. I know we had one of the Tekken games. I think it was Tekken 3, and I had fun with it. It was very, very much like Mortal Kombat, and I loved Mortal Kombat, so I liked playing that, but I never got super crazy into it. It was kind of disappointing for me to see a character that's already in a fighting game brought into this
another fighting game, right?
I would love to see an outside character. I know
Luigi. Sorry.
Hey, you know what? Why not? He hasn't been in one yet. I would love to see.
Sorry.
I would love to see a character from another genre come into the game instead of a fighting game.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people have wanted. I just a Crash Bandicoot. I don't think that'll ever happen, but it could. I mean, it's a possibility. They released the Crash Bandicoot games on Switch, I think. I'm pretty sure. I got them on PlayStation, but people have wanted Master Chief. People have wanted the Doom guy. So to me, it was kind of disappointing to see, like I said, another fighting game character brought into a fighting game. It's just, but that's me. I know a lot of people were really excited about it, and that's awesome for the people that were excited about it, but it's not for me, and that just means I just won't get the character, and I'm fine with that. And as far as, I don't want to say the last huge disappointment for me, but I would say, in my opinion, the biggest waste of time in E3 of this year, and maybe even for the longest time ever, the Avatar game. I have never watched a gameplay trailer and been so disinterested and so annoyed as a huge announcement for a movie that came out, 50 years ago at this point, and is supposed to get like 7 sequels that who knows when they're actually coming out.
2009.
I could not care less about that game.
I don't get it either. Like, Sorry, I'm angry now that you brought it up. Avatar, in my opinion, wasn't even that great of a movie.
It was a terrible movie.
I don't know.
It was a horrible movie.
I don't even know.
Unobtainium? What a bad name for a resource. Unobtainium.
I don't even know how the heck they're getting a second one, but like...
Yeah, let alone a third one. I think there's, 4 sequels that have officially been announced? Maybe more? I don't know. But yeah, that was for that to be kind of like, hey, we've got this really big announcement for you. Boom, a game that's based on a movie that
10
everybody
years ago.
has forgotten.
Right.
That one. Like I said, I've never been so
why?
Annoyed by a game trailer.
And Rotten Tomatoes is 82%. I mean, I'm indifferent about Rotten Tomatoes. But
I mean, obviously,
anyways,
the movie made a lot of money and all that, but
it wasn't that great. It's not like to compare it to like. I'm just looking at like Godfather or something. Like, it's not that. It's nowhere near like where that is.
I'm not saying it's a million times better than Avatar.
Now that you brought it up too, I remember the Nintendo when Nintendo. I will say Nintendo was overall disappointing. They saved E3 in a sense, like I said, but it was
the best of
the best of the worst.
Bad bag.
Right?
They were the best of a bad bag.
But I was like, I literally tweeted it because I think that was the one I mostly watched because it's like, I would say that one. I literally tweeted out bored with the Sherlock where he's shooting the gun. Like, that's basically like, I was like. In my opinion, I think the Switch is probably the best-selling platform that they had probably since the SNES.
For Nintendo? Oh, heck yeah. I mean, the Wii sold a lot, but this one is sustainable. This one's been going
well, especially last year. I feel like, and I'm one to talk, I bought a Switch during the pandemic because it's just, it's compatible, it's stupid easy, and you could play a lot of cool games with it. And I feel like for them, this was their best year for, again, a console game for, again, SNES. In my opinion, I'm sure this is probably the GameCube that was good. I don't know. Anyways, I could look up statistics and all that time, but, like, in my opinion, I feel like the Switch was the best. And to just see those announcements, I was like, what? Really?
Yeah. And on a side note, Bethesda and Microsoft had a really good E3. They showed a lot of games that were really interesting, a lot of games that, I know a lot of people are excited about. But what they showed this year basically said, do not buy an Xbox. Don't waste your money on an Xbox. Do not buy an Xbox Series X. Do not buy an Xbox. What was the last one? Wow, I can't even think right now. But don't buy an Xbox.
Right.
Take $500-$600, buy a PC that can run games, and buy Game Pass.
Right.
Game Pass already made the Xbox console obsolete. It is pointless to own an Xbox console. Mm-hmm. This year's E3, in almost every game that they did show to come up and say on Game Pass day one, made it pointless to buy an Xbox. Mm-hmm. I am a big console gamer. I have been for a very long time. I love the I love the fact that I can buy a console and they'll never, it's getting more and more blurred, but they'll never make a game for that console that console can't play, if that makes sense. Like, for the PS3, any game that was released on the PS3 could be played on the PS3. There's some that might not be optimized and everything, but I never have to buy a new graphics card for a game that was made for the PS3. Yeah, you'll have to buy a new console if you want to play some of the new games. But, you've got to upgrade a PC and everything. But at the same time, like I said, with PCs and parts getting cheaper and cheaper, if you were excited by anything on Xbox, just buy a decent PC for $500. You can buy a pre-built one. You can build one for $500 that'll last you for 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's going to let you play every game that you want to play, and just buy Game Pass. It's pointless to own an Xbox console, and that makes me sad because I as much as I love Sony, I want Xbox and Microsoft to do well, because that makes Sony keep pushing and doing better. Mm-hmm. Competition drives ingenuity. If it's pointless to get an Xbox and everybody just buys a PC, Sony can do whatever they want with the PlayStation because there's no competition. The Switch is a great console, but Nintendo never meant for it to be a direct competitor to the PlayStation or the Xbox.
Right.
So if you eliminate the Xbox from the equation, Sony can do whatever they want with the next PlayStation. And I don't want that. I want the Xbox to be strong, and I want the PlayStation to be strong, so that we get the best from both companies.
Right.
And for everything that they're throwing on Game Pass, I don't know how they're going to stay in business with Xbox, and I think they're going to move away from it and just get rid of it. Because, like I said, the Game Pass is such a good deal, because you can play everything that they have, basically, and pay like $3 a month or whatever it is.
My, has the tables have turned, haven't they? No.
How so?
I'm just saying that the Game Pass, it doesn't. You're not convincing me to go back to console ever.
Oh, and that's what like I said, that's what hurts the industry, and that's what may make it so that maybe the PlayStation 6 isn't that good, because they don't have to compete against anything. Right. They're not competing against the the PC market. I love consoles. Like I said, I love consoles. I love being able to have all the games that I want for my console, and just boom, here it is, blam. I don't have to worry about, like I said, do I need to get more RAM? Do I need to get a better video card? Do I need to get a better this? Do I need to get a better that? Do I need to get, this? At what point is this keyboard not going to be good enough, and I've got to buy a new keyboard?
Right.
At what point is this mouse not going to have enough, power behind it that I need to buy some mouse that has a power brick to it in order to play these PC games or something? With a console, I know I can get console, controller, done.
Right.
That's all I need. I don't need to worry about anything else. And that's what I like about console gaming. I do like PC gaming. I love my PC. I like a lot of games that are on PC, and there are some that I prefer on PC. But, yeah, Game Pass is a great thing for the consumer as far as gameplay, but I feel like as far as...
They're going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, I'm afraid that it is going to hurt that competition in the long run. But yeah, now that I've gone on my
rant.
tangent and rant for the podcast.
This is the end, because we are an hour and we trying to lessen it. So I will say again, I will go back 2 seconds. I promise me. I will go back to Zach Fierce's comment about just if you have a game, just don't be shy. And I mean, again, it wasn't too much of an impact in previous E3s, but to see Wholesome Games as its own thing of these indie developed games, and just cute, adorable, artistic games that are, please take this as advice if you're a game developer, and who knows, and real quick too, I played We Built a Zoo. I don't know if I mentioned that last stream.
I don't
regardless, I entered in. They're like, whoever wants to, we'll give it it's a weekend free of playing it for the demo. And they sent me. I was like, yeah, heck with it. Who knows? I might get it. And sure enough, I got it. And I was hoping hey, I'm a streamer. Usually, and it's an indie game, and I thought it's Clueless. I would hope I would get one, and it was a little bit stingy. Again, is kind of again in terms of gameplay. Again, without glitches and seeing stuff. I'm sure it was kind of like Planet Zoo, where I had to figure it out, and once you did, it got really good, and you could splice animals, and it's adorable. And what's his name? The zoo guy who got arrested. Joe Exotic was in the game. It's just those little tweaks of adorable, funny is great. Anyways, that's the end. We're done here. Sorry, but yes, check out, honestly, if you haven't. Like, I would have to go back to say a good resource for you for E3 announcement. I will, again, sorry to advertise a different YouTuber, but NerdCube actually did cover it really well. I don't, if you have a different one, but just
I was just watching kind of, I think I was watching like IGN or
IGN
or
is
one
good
of the just kind of bigger things is where I watched it, and I know I saw other articles, but I didn't see anything from specific people, so just kind of all over the board.
Yeah, NerdCube is like 5 minutes of this is what Bethesda does, this is what, so it's like very quick YouTube video, and he covers it a lot. So, and that's kind of how I saw some of the E3 context. And I'm sure and please go to Wholesome Games and other sources that. Yeah. I will say again, if you're not into indie games, this is the year to get into indie games. And Among Us was on the platform this year. My goodness, like, where are we? What year is this? Indie games, yay! Sorry.
if everybody watching this buys an indie game, Scouter will punch through his desk.
I will die. No, it's just they're just so underappreciated, and I know. Luckily, again, if it wasn't for Among Us, I think it really saved the industry. But anyways, as usual, check out this guy. He does speedruns of Metal Gear Solid. Check him out, Smokinace007, Twitter, YouTube. Twitch. He will be on Twitch again, maybe one day, someday.
He will. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but speaking of Metal Gear Solid speedruns, I am looking at starting to learn a different Metal Gear Solid speedrun, so stay tuned for that. I know you're excited for it.
Yeah, can't wait.
Wow. But yeah, no. Again, as always, thanks for sitting here and let me talk your ear off about things I'm excited about and things that I'm irritated about, and get you fired up about games that you forgot about, like Avatar, and that everybody is going to forget about because nobody asked for that game and nobody cares. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, no. Make sure to check out Scatter715 as well. Donate to his Extra Life.
Don't do that. I mean, do that. Actually, do that.
Wow.
And Trever Project. Hopefully this will come out soon, but only got 5 days. We're halfway to my $500 mark. So donate to that first, and then Extra Life, because at the end of June, it's Pride Month, so thought to do something instead of, I feel like I definitely should be more supportive in a different way. So please donate. Goes to a great cause. So
see all the more reason to check out Scatter715.
I will say donate to my Trever Project and Extra Life, and then
donate to all of his links, everything.
Right.
Subscribe to his Twitch channel.
Not until you do it to Smokinace first, because again, it could be you on this podcast, but he got the short end of the straw, and here we are.
And as always, make sure, let us know if you have any topics for us. Let us know what you thought of E3 this year. Was there anything you wanted to see that you didn't see? Was there anything that you saw that you didn't like, that you want to see more about? Just let us know. We'd love to have that interaction and, see what other people are excited about.
For sure. Definitely. Check out E3, and then who knows, like Smokinace says, you might... Again, all those zombie games and Striker, I'm a little interested. Again, it's probably more your type, but honestly, I'll wait till gameplay, and then I'll probably pick it up. If it seems, again, I don't want to show myself out, but with previous experience, but
yeah. And for everybody watching too, you might have seen something that we missed that we might be excited about. So, if there's something we didn't mention, let us know, and that might be something that you might get one of us interested or both of us interested in a game that we didn't even catch that's coming out. So Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
we
good.
Appreciate all of you people.
Yeah, listen.
Awesome.
Listen, check us out on Spotify. You find this podcast on YouTube/Scottish15. Not to plug myself, but Smokinace doesn't have a YouTube, so we're on it on mine. So
I rely on this often.
Yeah, he just talks. I do all the hard work. So I pay him the big bucks.
That's why I love to keep it.
Right. That's why I keep sending him money, keep sending him the checks, and he keeps coming back. But no, listen, thanks everyone. I really appreciate it. We'll be covering... I'm really excited. Canned Sandwich is commenting. If you have any suggestions, and we haven't forgot about Canned Sandwich, his comment about obscure games. But there's so many things. It's an exciting year this year for once of, I feel like, games. So we got all year to talk about stuff. So if you have any suggestions, please comment below, ring that bell, hit subscribe, like and comment, and then watch Smokinace on Twitter and Twitch. Twitter and Twitch. But yes, thank you. Watch you on Twitter. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next month.
Bye everybody.
Bye.